And good evening, everyone. Welcome to WREP 15 Sports. Friday night football here at Decatur Central High School. Mid-state conference matchup between the 2-1 Martinsville Artesians and the 1-2 Decatur Central Hawks. I want to thank you if you're watching us live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Watching us live there. Also, we're going to be using a camera from Decatur Central's local broadcast, DC Live. So we thank them for letting us kind of teamwork this broadcast. Also, the Indy Star Live channel will be checking in with this broadcast every once in a while for their live show as well. So we got a lot of moving parts here for this great matchup between mid-state conference rivals. Like I said, it's the Artesians, it's the Hawks. It should be a good one. Last week, unfortunately, the Artesians suffered their first loss at home at Ciderwoods Field to the Greenwood Woodmen, a score of 18-31. Now, obviously, Coach Whitson said there was several things that didn't go right, but the biggest thing was the Artesians losing the turnover battle. 3 turnovers in that first half kind of set the tone early for that game. Artesians had to play from behind in the entire second half. Came really close, had a 4th down situation, and Greenwood just made a heck of a play. Caught the football just inches before it hit the ground, scored the touchdown, and that pretty much put the game out of reach. If Martinsville gets a stop, they're down by 7 with a chance to move down the field and tie it or take the lead. But unfortunately, Artesians fall to Mid-State Conference foe Greenwood last week, 18-31. Decatur Central Hawks, they're coming off a great season from last year. Last year made it all the way to the state championship game where they fell to New Pal. Their only regular season loss last year was to the Martinsville Artesians, 18-15. It was a very close, tough battle at home against the Artesians at Ciderwoods Field. That was their only loss other than the state championship game. So the Decatur Central Hawks may be looking for a little bit of revenge after suffering last season's loss. Artesians, they're going to be looking to bounce back. Artesians are coached by Coach Carter Whitson, who comes into tonight's game at 16-9 record. The Hawks are coached by Kyle Enright. He comes in with a great, impressive record of 30-9. We're here on the Decatur Central sideline. About half full, maybe 3/4 full. Across the way, the Artesians, like they always do, the Artesian community and fans bring a nice crowd across the way. It is hot and humid. It feels more like middle of July other than middle of September. So kind of look out that as you could see some fatigue, see how conditioned these guys are. Also, you could see some cramping, so that's something to keep an eye on early on here in tonight's game before the sun goes down. Right now it is pretty hot and sticky down on the field. There is a bit of a breeze going across the field, so that may help cool things down a little bit. But right now, until that sun goes down, it will be pretty hot for both teams. I'd like to thank our camera crew who's helping us out tonight, part of the MHS TV Productions class, Raina Cox, Annabelle Cleary, and Style Meckling. And then helping us out from the DC Live side is Maximus Bond, who's also going to be running some camera for us as well. So like I said, a lot of moving parts here for this broadcast this evening. Got the, obviously, MHS Rewind YouTube channel going live. Got some assistance from the DC Live Decatur Central's television class, and then we're also going to be checked in on by Indy Star's live show as well. So they're going to be checking in on this game. We are getting ready to get the coin toss here just momentarily. Artesians, as you can see, red pants, red helmets. So going away from the gold pants is what they had the last 3 games. So Artesians will win the toss, but they have deferred, so they will kick it off when this game gets rolling. Artesians hopefully can maybe get the run game going a little bit. Had a lot of success with it in that opening game against Bedford North Lawrence. Struggled to find the ground game against Bloomington South, and then also struggled a little bit against the Greenwood Woodmen. Really struggled in that first half, but in the second half got things going a little bit. I think that's because Greenwood backed off a little bit, knowing that Artesians were down and we're going to have to play keep up. that they would be trying to go through the air more than on the ground, and that way Martinsville did find a little bit of success. Coach Whitson talked about how he maybe changed a little bit schematically on the run game, so we'll see what those changes are and if Tyler Cox can have some success. He's the main running back for the Artesians, comes in 44 carries, 265 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But the Artesians, most of their offense has been done through the air. Xavier Tinnitus, the senior, has a completion percentage of 68%, 823 yards, 8 touchdowns, and then 2 picks. And 2 of those interceptions came last week. One of those was a pick 6. The other interception was toward the end of the first half. Was a shot in the corner of the end zone, and that was picked off. So all those 3 turnovers led to scores. 2 of them led to Greenwood points. The other one took away from the Artesians as they were marching downfield. We're ready to kick it off here Friday night. It's Friday the 13th. It's going to be a full moon. Let's see if this game gets weird. As Kenny Tracy, he's got a seam, and that's in trouble, and will be tackled from behind. Matthew LaFerry with the tackle, but number 13, Kenny Tracy, he is the player on Decatur Central's side that you're going to have to want to really keep an eye on. He is the brother of Tyrone Tracy, who played here and is currently at Iowa. Also, his cousin is Larry Tracy, who is at IU. Kenny Tracy has a lot of different offers from different schools, including some Ivy League schools, so he's a very intelligent kid. He's got offers from Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, Columbia, and Princeton, but also has offers from West Virginia, Boston College, and Temple. First play, quick pass, and it is going to be caught and taken down at the 45-yard line. So about a 9-yard pickup there on that play. So a 9-yard pass play there. Quarterback for the Hawks, Peyton Horsley, hooked up with number 84, I believe, Sebastian Murillo. 2nd and 1. Fakes it to Kenny Tracy. Horsley in a little bit of trouble, gets away, stiff arms, and is tackled. Weston Pemberton with the tackle, but not before Horsley can get just enough for the first down. Got about 2 yards on that run. So good pressure from the Artesians there initially, but Peyton Horsley able to get 2 yards and pick up that first down. So first down for the Hawks. Early on here, Decatur Central Hawks started with great field position after a nice return. Number 13, Kenny Tracy, who is in the backfield. Like I said, he's the dynamic, athletic playmaker that you want to keep an eye on. They're going to hand it off to him. Kenny Tracy tries to bounce around the outside, gets across the 40, and met by a couple of Artesians, Will Nix and Andy Myers there. A 7-yard pickup there for Kenny Tracy on his first carry. Bring up 2nd and about 4 for the Hawks. Artesians trying to get a stop here. First possession for Decatur Central. Low snap, Horsley with it. Gets some pressure up front. Now he's trying to scramble, gets tackled by the Artesians. Ethan Potteroff dives forward, going to be just shy of the first down. Just needed 4, got about 3. So a 3rd and short coming up for the Artesian defense here in this first quarter. First possession for the Hawks. Gives it to number 25, I believe, who has enough for the first down. It's another first down for the Hawks. So Decatur Central moving the ball down the field. Artesians trying to get a stop. Last time Decatur Central played was against Whiteland. We'll see what this play is. Trying to get it to Kenny Tracy, and it is caught. A 32-yard pass. To Kenny Tracy. And the Artesians, that was Adam Field, who had the coverage, was in front of Kenny Tracy, but just could not get his head around quick enough to find the ball. Kenny Tracy snatched it out of the air. Just Field for the Artesians just could not find or locate the football, and that leads to an opening drive touchdown for the Hawks. The extra point is good, and we've got a 7-0 score here early on. And now the Artesian offense, they're going to have to answer. So the 32-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Horsley to Kenny Tracy. Tracy, that's his 10th reception and second receiving touchdown on the season. Kenny Tracy did not play in the second game of the season for Decatur Central. That was a loss to Westfield. Decatur Central, like I said, comes in at 1-2. Their two losses have come against 6A schools. Franklin Central was the first one, then Westfield. And the Hawks won in a shootout last week against Mid-State Conference opponent Whiteland, 43-36. So a lot of offense in that game, and right now, to start, Decatur Central shows their high-powered offense. Quick score. About an 8-play drive. Took less than 3 minutes. But now the Artesian offense will have to respond. Artesian's Adam Field was actually in good coverage. He was right with Kenny Tracy. He just could not get his head around quick enough and find the football. Decatur Central kicks it off. It's a high kick taken, and the ball's picked up. And LaFerry, I believe, was the return man, and he gets dropped at around the 15-yard line. Had a little trouble with the football. Could not hang on to it cleanly. Check that. That was not LaFerry. Looked like number 14, Chase Mabry, with the return. So the 16-yard line is where Martinsville's offense will start. They've already shown trips to the near side here. Artesians, as you know, likes to air it out, but Coach Whitson said he's kind of tweaked the run game a little bit. Andy Myers, Matt Thomas, the two leading receivers for the Artesians. Xavier, he's going to go deep right away, and he had a man but overshot him. And that has kind of been the MO for Martinsville. They love going to the outside. That time it looked like it was going to Andy Myers. On the near side here, it was Matt Thomas on the outside, bunched up with Matthew LaFerry and Craig Wesner. There is a penalty flag at about the 15, 14-yard line, and it's a chop block against the Artesians, so that will move them back. So not the way this offensive series wants to start for Martinsville and Coach Whitson. Has had a shot at a big play, but even if it was completed, would have came back. Early penalty against the Artesians that's taken, so we'll redo first down again, but it's going to be from the 8-yard line this time. Dave's going to hand it off. Not much running room there for Tyler Cox. Actually didn't get anything. Xavier overthrows his intended receiver. Try to get it to Matthew LaFerry, and now, just like that, you're looking at third and very long, 3rd and 16 from Martinsville's own 8-yard line. See if the Artesians can get a long first down here. They do need it. They're going to get pressure. Xavier in trouble. He's still on his feet, but he will go down, and he will go backwards. So that's going to bring up 4th and very long. And now the Artesians going to have to punt out of their own end zone. So not a great series offensively there for Martinsville. Had a chop block penalty. And we've got some movement. I don't know if that was Martinsville who moved first. There was definitely Decatur Central that jumped, but he was triggered by an offensive lineman who jumped off sides. So that's going to make this penalty move back just a yard or two. Xavier's going to have to be careful because there could be a rush coming. And it is blocked. And so the punt is blocked, and it goes through the end zone for a safety. And that gives Decatur Central an early 9-0 lead, and they will get the ball back. So not the start you want for the Artesians with 7:40 left to go in the first quarter. Artesians already find themselves in an early 9-0 hole here. Time for the Artesians to regroup. So not the most fun recap of an offensive series if you're an Artesian fan. Like I said, you had the chop block penalty, a run that was stuffed, an incomplete pass, another penalty for the Artesians, and then a block punt that went through the end zone for a safety. And now Artesians are going to have to kick this off, but they're going to have to kick it from, I believe, their own 20-yard line after the safety. And the Artesians that we've mentioned still trying to figure out the kicking issues here after the graduation last year of Caleb Urban. So Artesian defense really needs to make a big play here and get a quick stop or a turnover, because right now Decatur Central has all the momentum. Line drive kick. Going to take an Artesian bounce, but it's going to be picked up by Kenny Tracy. And he can move, gets spun around, still on his feet, and will go down just shy of the 45-yard line. So Decatur Central will have excellent starting field position on this drive. Last time Peyton Horsley was out on the field, he connected on a 32-yard touchdown pass to Kenny Tracy. Covered well by corner Adam Field of Martinsville, but just Field could not find the football. And Kenny Tracy could, and that was the difference that led to the touchdown. Horsley fakes the pass. Now he's going to roll out to his right a little bit. And nice coverage there by Ethan Potteroff, trying to get that to the other Tracy, number 11. That's the younger brother of Kenny, Javon. And there is a penalty flag in the backfield. So we will see what this is all about. A lot of penalties early on in this game. So one thing Artesians have done, they've forced Peyton Horsley out of and it's another penalty against the Artesians. It's a personal foul penalty. So just when the Artesians get a nice stop on first down, they're dealt with a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty. I was saying before the penalty, Artesian's defensive line has given some pressure on Peyton Horsley. He's had to roll out most of the times he's wanted to pass it. This time just gives it to Kenny Tracy, who does get tackled for a short gain. Pemberton in there on the tackle. He's the leading tackler for the Artesians. So we need more plays like that on defense. Short gain there by Kenny Tracy. Brings up second down. Football at the Artesian 29-yard line. Horsley will keep it. He's going to take it around the right side, but he's going to be pulled from behind. Nice job. Maybe got a yard there, not much more. We do have an injured Hawk player down. Malachi Pringle coming in from his defensive line position to make that tackle. Nice play by him. Injured Decatur Central player around where the line of scrimmage was, around the 29, 28-yard line, so hopefully he is okay. But a big 3rd and 8 coming up for the Hawks. Well, we've got an injury timeout. Let's go ahead and go to the Coach Whitson show with Eric Myers. He talks about what to expect from the Decatur Central Hawks.
Play a Franklin Central team that was really revved up, ready to go, and they just played with a little bit more energy than I think Decatur did. And Decatur goes in week 2, and they're playing without their best player, and another few starters were out. So Westfield got after them pretty good, but after watching them be 0-2, that wasn't an indicator of who they are. They're a lot better than that, and then they get into a dogfight with Whiteland last week and create 14 points on defense. It ends up being a shootout. So they're dynamic. They've got all kinds of crazy athletes running around there. They got a defensive scheme that's chaotic. Offensively, they're going to get the ball to their weapons, and they're a good football team. The 1-2 versus 2-1 has no indication of what this game is. This is a 5A football team with the most athletes in our conference. Probably more athletes than they'll play until they get up to late in the playoffs if they get there.
And that was Coach Whitson talking about what Decatur Central does. You see on your screen there the injured Decatur Central Hawk who's favoring a leg, it looks like. That's number 62. Stephen Osborne. And Will Nix comes up on that play for no gain on that. So 4th down here, though. Decatur Central the ball at the Artesian 28-yard line. So the Hawks will go for it on 4th down here. 4th and 8. And they've got a 9-0 lead here in the first quarter. So kind of in no man's land. So this is something that I would expect to see the Hawks do. We've got a whistle, and they're going to use their first timeout. So Artesian defense on the ground doing a fairly nice job, only giving up 18 yards on the ground and really receiving not too many yards there except for the 32-yard touchdown pass. But Decatur Central's had short field the both times they've had it, so haven't churned out a bunch of yards, but they've got what's most important, is that's 9 points on the scoreboard. See a shot there of the Martinsville student section in full force. Looks like it's some sort of camo night. A lot of students in camo attire made the trip up of 67 here to Decatur Central High School. So here we go, 4th down. They've made it 4th and 7 with 6:14 left to go. Decatur Central coming out of a timeout. Horsley looking, he's got a little pressure. The flag comes. Horsley goes and gets across the 20, has the first down, but there is going to be a holding penalty against the Hawks. Well, check that. It may not be. It's a holding penalty, but we will see if it's against Martinsville or Decatur Central. Where the flag is, it looks like it's going to be against Decatur Central, and it is. That penalty moves Decatur Central back, so we'll see if they still go for it here on 4th down. So Peyton Horsley once again had to move out of the pocket. So Artesian's doing a good job of covering up the receivers and putting a little bit of pressure, making Peyton Horsley run around a little bit, but that time he sprung loose, and not for the penalty, he would have had the first down. So now it's going to be 4th and very long. Ball's going to be marked at the 43-yard line of the Artesians. Not 100% sure the kicking situation of Decatur Central, but you've still got the football in Artesian territory. You got a 9-0 lead, and Martinsville didn't really show much offensively, so they're going to look like you're going to try to go for it again. Artesians just cannot give up this 4th down. That would be a killer, and another timeout. Coached by Kyle Enright called that timeout. That's back-to-back timeouts basically for Decatur Central. We've still got 5:42 in the first quarter and a whole nother second quarter. Go back to the Inside Artesian football with Coach Whitson. Go ahead and talk a little bit more about this game.
Xavier clean, and we got to keep him confident back there in the pocket. We got to do a lot better job of running the ball. We're gonna have a new run game system this week that hopefully that can give us a little bit more momentum on that. But we have to take care of the ball. You said it. We have to take care of the ball, and that's the big key to our offense. We're gonna make the big plays, and we're gonna be good on offense. We need to be dynamic, but we got to keep the ball and score more.
That was Coach Whitson on the keys to tonight's game. Right now in this first quarter, not really doing a good job on those keys, but got a chance to get a big 4th down stop and get the ball back into the hands of your offense. Get pressure there on Horsley. That looks like could be another hold. Ball is lofted up and caught and score. So a 4th and very long, 4th and 22, I believe, was the down in yardage. Peyton Horsley has to scramble out of the pocket and connects for his second long touchdown pass of the night. And this one to Caleb Hicks. So 2 long touchdown passes for the Hawks. And now with the extra point is up, and it is no good. Missed that, but still the Hawks with a 15-0 lead still here in the first quarter. And we'll see how Martinsville responds to that. That is going to be really interesting to see how these players respond. They had 4th and long. You think, all right, you're going to get the football back. Instead, Decatur Central not only gets the first down, but they score on it on the 43-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Horsley. Really two big plays. That's been the difference for Decatur Central offensively. The 32-yard touchdown pass on the first offensive series, and then the one you just saw, which went for 43 yards. And Martinsville offense will need to come up with points here on this drive. Really struggled on that first series. Now they were kind of pinned back inside their own 20 to start. And then the very first play was a chop block, which moved them back to their own 8-yard line. Just really hard to get things going offensively when you start out with a big penalty like that, especially when you're backed up inside your own 20 to start. But it is still early. Artesian offense can score, and it's going to be an onside kick, and it's not going to go 10 yards. So Coach Kyle Enright really going for the jugular. 2 scores, and then going for a high pooch onside kick. And would have been successful if it just would have gone the full 10 yards, because I felt like there were 3 or 4 Decatur Central players around that football and maybe only 1 Artesian football player. But did not make it 10 yards. So we'll see officials trying to figure out exactly what the call should be here. They did throw a penalty. So not sure of the high school rule, but I know in college or the NFL, if you kick it off and it's out of bounds or an illegal kick, you put it at the 35. So it looks like, though, this ball will stay put. So the Artesians will get it right at midfield. So the Artesians offense will get a break and get some good starting field position of their own. Decatur Central's had it twice already. The Artesians finally get it. So we'll see if they can make something happen here. Hands off and hit and driven backwards. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Tyler Cox, nowhere to go there. So 2 carries for Tyler, no yards. Actually, that's going to be negative yard there. So the run game, first 2 carries, not finding a lot of success. We'll see if Artesians go to the air here on this play. Tried to hand it off, but he drops it. Now Xavier's in trouble, and he will go way back. That'll be an 8-yard loss. I think they were going to fake the sweep, drop the football, and now you've got another 3rd and long. At least this time you're not backed up inside your own 10-yard line. But still, another 3rd and long. Just this first quarter is one you want to forget if you're a Martinsville fan or coach or player. And hopefully the next 3 quarters are going to be better. Xavier going to try to get it to Matt Thomas, who catches it, driven out of bounds, but we'll see what the penalty flag is about. Is it going to be on Matt Thomas, or is it going to be on the defender of Decatur Central? We will see. The ball was caught. Matt Thomas driven out of bounds after he crossed the 30-yard line, so we will see. There was a penalty thrown. Artesians are moving forward here. 25-yard pass completion by Xavier to Matt Thomas. Xavier's going to hand it off. Tyler Cox spins, tries to get something, does get, maybe we'll give him a yard on that. So that's the first completion there by Xavier Tinnitus. Tonight he's 1 for 2, and Matt Thomas with the first reception for the Artesians, but it was a big one. Artesians were 3rd and long. If they don't get that, good chance they're going to have to punt this away, and Hawks have a 15-0 lead, but a big pass catch by Matt Thomas. So let's see if this gets a little bit of spark for the Artesians. They can punch this in. Hands it off again. Tyler Cox breaks a tackle, still going. Best run of the night for Tyler Cox. Gets it to about the 35-yard line. Third and short. Coming up for this Artesian offense. Really want to keep this drive going. You don't want it to stall out. That's been an issue first few games. Artesians have been able to move the ball, but Tyler Cox give it right up the middle, and he is driven back. Hit hard and driven back. What a tackle there by Decatur Central. So it's going to be 4th and short. 4th and 2, I believe, is what we're looking at. So this has to be a first down you need. Going to hurry it up, and another timeout called by Decatur Central. Now they have no more timeouts for the half. So Coach Enright, not the believer of saving any timeouts for the end of the half, because just used all 3 of them up. He's got still 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in this first quarter. And that doesn't hurt you as much in the high school college game, because you do get the clock stopped with every first down, as opposed to the NFL where first down does not stop the clock. But so not as big of an issue at this level, but still, you'd like to have at least maybe one timeout if you've got a chance to put points on the board at the end of the half. But Coach Enright knows that this is a big play. They get a stop. The way their offense has worked the last 2 times out on the field with 2 scores, has a chance to really put the foot down. But the Artesians on the other side, they know how important this first down is. They need it. They need to score on this drive here. They got a break when the onside kick failed for Decatur Central. That meant Martinsville got the ball right at midfield. Had a big pass completion, 25 yards to Matt Thomas. That kind of set this all up. That was on 3rd and long. And now the Artesians 4th and 2. Xavier sneaks up to the line. Now he backs up a little bit. He's done that a few times this season when he needs his short yardage. Just rushes up to the line, snaps it, and gets a push. But now they decide motion Matt Thomas. Going to give it to Tyler Cox, who bounces out the outside, and he's going to go backwards. Now check that. That's Weston Pemberton, not Tyler Cox. And Weston Pemberton comes up limping just a little bit. So Weston Pemberton was the ball carrier, and he's coming up hobbling a little bit, and he's your best defensive player, and that is not good, seeing him limp off. That's kind of the risk you take when you have your best defensive player and you use him as a running back. He's had some solid runs, but that type of thing can happen. So now Decatur Central will get the football back. They'll hand it off to Hicks. He crosses the 30-yard line. So Hicks with a 6-yard pickup there. And that's tough if you're an Artesian fan or coach or player to see that, to have 4th and short and you really know you need a score, and you cannot get the first down to keep the drive alive, and now defense has to stand up, and right now they're without Weston Pemberton, their best player. This is Javon Tracy. Javon on the left side gets drugged down by Adam Field at the 45-yard line. So another first down for Decatur Central. Hands it off to Kenny Tracy, a little end around. He makes one man miss and gets across midfield. So 7-yard run there. Now Decatur Central starting to get yards in chunks. Under a minute now, 40 seconds left in this first quarter. Horsley fakes the in around. It spins off the would-be sack, throws it and finds Hicks in the flat and gets across the 30. Jacob Burkett had what looked to be a sack on Horsley, but could not complete it. Horsley bounces off and finds Hicks in the flat, who turns it up to a 24-yard gain. And that's just kind of the way the quarter's been for the Artesians. Like I said, they forced Horsley to move out of the pocket, but have not been able to bring him down yet. And they've been able to turn it into big chunks as Peyton Horsley, that time, gets not much yardage. Maybe 2 yards on that carry. And that may take us to the end here. And this quarter cannot end fast enough for Martinsville. And right now their defense is in a bit of a pickle here with the ball at their own 29-yard line. But we will see. We still got 3 quarters of football to go. We'll see if the Artesians can get things figured out and turn this thing around. We'll be right back after this.
Join the majority.
Our definition of a relationship is being able to look you in the eye and hear about your concern, hearing about your family, hearing about your job, hearing about your aspirations, getting to know you, and positioning ourselves to help you meet those dreams. Now that sounds pretty old-fashioned, but we're not willing to give that up. We're simply not going to give that up.
For all the banking services you need, there's no place like home.
And welcome back, everyone. WREP 15 Sports. I'm Eric Birds giving the play-by-play here. Friday night Mid-State Conference game between the Martinsville Artesians and the Decatur Central Hawks. Thanks if you're watching on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. First quarter, not one to keep in your vault. Want to throw that first quarter away because it was not good for the Artesians on either side of the ball. Defensively or offensively, Artesians trail the Hawks 15-0. But a 2nd and 10 coming up for Decatur Central. They've got the ball, a little toss play. It looks like this is to Hicks. Flag comes and gets tackled as he crosses the 25, but there is a penalty marker down at about the 33-yard line. So we'll see what this penalty is. Looks to be a holding penalty, but could be mistaken there. Officials looking at the Artesian sideline, and it is a holding on the Hawks. So I'll move them back when we'll do 2nd down all over again. Recap the first quarter Decatur Central, their first 2 times having the ball, scored on long touchdown passes, one of 32 yards, another of 43. The second touchdown pass was a heartbreaker. It was 4th and 22. And was able to connect on the touchdown pass after Artesian looked like they were going to get the football back. And Artesians, their second offensive possession, had 4th and short. We'll recap it after this play. Horsley gets some pressure. He throws it off to Javon Tracy in the open and gets it to about the 25-yard line. $17-yard pickup there. Horsley really doing an excellent job passing the football. He's only missed 1 pass. That was Javon Tracy's first reception. It goes for 17 yards, and now this makes it a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 5, but the Hawks in 4-down territory here. Looks like going to be a little trickery. Javon Tracy misses the tackle. He breaks one and gets tackled out of bounds. There is another penalty flag, though, so we'll have to see what this is about. Artesian defender nearly had Javon Tracy in the backfield, but made the defender miss. Looks like it might be another holding penalty on the Hawks. It's kind of been the story early on here in the first half. Artesians have gotten pressure in the backfield, had some near sacks, some near tackles for loss, but cannot just wrap up and bring the Hawk player down. So another holding penalty against the Hawks. That's really the only thing that's helped Artesians in this game is some costly penalties by Decatur Central. Artesians have had their own costly penalties as well, but it just seems here as of late it's the Hawks that have been committing those penalties. So now it's 3rd and 15 from the 35-yard line. Artesians need a stop here. Better yet, a turnover if possible. Peyton Horsley back. He's going to throw it up. And Billy Bias is right there to break it up. Good job by Billy Bias to break that pass there on the far side. So a 4th and 15 for the Hawks, but this is almost the identical situation they were in the first quarter. I think it was 4th and 22 then, but the ball's around the same area of the field that it was when the Hawks connected on the touchdown pass on 4th and long. So Artesians a little chance to redeem themselves here after giving up the 4th down touchdown earlier in the first quarter. And Horsley's just going to punt this, punts it toward the sideline. That's going to take a bounce, but that's going to be great. A great punt for Horsley as he pins Martinsville back. At the 4-yard line is where Martinsville is going to have to start this. And the way the Artesian offense has looked, take away a 25-yard pass completion to Matt Thomas. Martinsville has not been able to get anything going offensively. Artesians are in the negative when it comes to rushing. -6 yards on the ground, 25 yards through the air, and that's just the one completion. So now you've got to get something worked out here because you've got your back to the goal line. Actually, Xavier Tenitis is in his own end zone to start this play. Hands it off to Nix. Nix gets on the far side, and a nice run. That's the best running play for Martinsville. Goes for about 11 yards, Will Nix. It's only the second first down for the Artesians tonight. Comes with 9:50 left to go in the second quarter. Maybe that run for Will Nix gets things going a little bit. Will Nix, a strong runner. Xavier, he's got 2 men he's looking at and cannot connect Matt Thomas there on the far side. Matt Thomas went out for it, but could not haul it in. Thrown out in front of him just a little bit. 2nd and 10. Second and 10 coming up for Martinsville. Really need to at least get a long drive going. You almost need to score here. But you got a ways to do it. I think that's Will Nix again, lowers his shoulder. You see the strength of Will Nix. 8-yard run there for Nix. So he's had 2 carries. They've gone for 19 yards. So Will Nix probably going to be your main back on this drive, the way he's carried the football the last 2 times. Tyler Cox just has not been able to find a lot of running room early on here. Xavier with Will Nix to his left. Xavier's going to keep it, and he will go backwards. The teams have not been able to find much running room around the edge, so now a 4th down situation here for the Artesians, just like that. Yeah, the incompletion on 1st down, the nice run by Will Nix, and now here on 4th down, and a timeout, and this time it's going to be called by the Artesians. They're the only ones left with timeouts. So in this set of downs, you had an incomplete pass to start, a nice run by Will Nix, 8 yards. That brought up 3rd and 2. And Xavier tried to take it around the left side and went backwards 3 yards. So now you've got 4th and 5. Ball's at your own 20-yard line, and you're down 15-0 with 8:19 left to go in this first half. Artesian will get the football to start the second half. I don't know if that will, I'm sure that will factor into the decision here for Coach Whitson. And the Artesians were able to get a stop defensively last time Decatur Central had the football. As much as you would love for the Artesians to go for it and get a 1st down and keep the drive alive, you know how important it is and how much it's needed. But at the same time, you went for it on 4th and about 2 last time you had the football and didn't get it. Are you willing to roll the dice here with the ball at your own 20-yard line? Decatur Central runs a player on late, and there's movement all over. We'll see who is it on. And it's going to be against the Artesians. Looks like on that right side, the right end, right tackle moved a little bit, and that makes it 4th and 10, and now you almost have to punt it here. Now Xavier's going to have to punt this, and he's going to have to get a good one. It's going to give Decatur Central good starting field position again. Some pressure, and it's going to be blocked. And it's going to be scooped up, and touchdown saving tackle there by the Artesians. But now Decatur Central has the ball inside the 10-yard line. And Jackson Kleesner with a touchdown saving tackle, but Decatur Central has the ball at the Artesian 7-yard line with a 15-0 lead.
There you go.
Little trickery there. Tracy with it, trying to get the edge, and he does. 7-yard run for Kenny Tracy. Second touchdown of the night for Kenny Tracy. The first one was the first touchdown, a receiving touchdown. This one a rushing touchdown. That was all kind of set up on the blocked punt. Martinsville had 4th and 5 at their own 20, then a false start penalty moved him back 5 yards, setting up an obvious punting situation. Low snap, little trouble with it, still gets the boot on it, and is able to punch it through. Wow. It was a bad snap, really messed up the timing of that kick, and that's one of the most important things when you're kicking extra points or field goals is the timing. And Holder was able to get the snap down, and kicker gets it through. So 22-0 now with 8:05 left to go in the second quarter here at Decatur Central High School. And just not much going right for the Artesians. So Artesians need to keep their head up. Can't hang their head yet. They got a lot of football left. That's really the only good thing you can say so far about this first half. There's still a lot of it left to go and a whole second half, and Martinsville will get the football to start the second half. The problem is the offense just has not gotten any rhythm tonight. The only positive big play for the Artesians, a 25-yard pass, 3rd and long. You thought maybe that would get some juice flowing and Artesians could get a score on that, but they were shut out on 4th and 2. Also, the Artesians have been cursed with just bad starting field position. I think this is going to be returned by Andy Myers, who has some space around the far side, still going and taken out of bounds near midfield. So a little bit of a spark there. At least the return gives you good field position to start here on this drive. Artesians have been inside their own 10-yard line to start 2 different times here in this game. Artesians come out on the field. Andy Myers with a nice setup. Let's see if that can give the Artesians a bit of a spark here. They start in Decatur Central territory on the 49-yard line. Fakes the handoff, going to go back to pass, going to go deep on the far sideline. He's got him. Matt Thomas. A 33-yard pass completion there. Second reception for Matt Thomas. He's been the only receiver to catch a pass so far. So he is Xavier Tonitis' favorite receiver to start. Xavier has plenty of time. He's going to go back of the end zone, tries to get LaFerry in the back of the end zone. Cannot complete it. That time, good protection up front. Xavier Tonitis had plenty of time to throw. Second down from the Decatur Central 17. Artesians have, like I said, have struggled a little bit when they've got it in the red zone. Last 2 games against South and Greenwood, they've moved the ball down the field. Not so much tonight, but they've moved it and just have struggled to get it in the end zone. Pressure, though, coming, back shoulder throw. It is caught. Did he get his feet down? Touchdown. I think that was Matt Thomas again. 17-yard touchdown reception. We do have a flag near the line of scrimmage. We'll see what this is about. Not see the flag until just now. It's marking down the touchdown on my score sheet, but we'll have to see what the penalty is before we get to mark it down. And it's another chop block. Second chop block of the night. That will take away the touchdown and move Martinsville back for, we'll do redo second down again. Second chop block of the night. Great throw by Xavier. Kind of a back shoulder throw. Matt Thomas turned around and got it. Now Coach Whitson's getting an explanation from the official. The ball will be at the 34-yard line, second and 27 is what the Artesians are looking at. It seems like Martinsville, they go one step forward and 4 steps back. Will Nix in the backfield. Weston Pemberton was injured earlier in this quarter. Have not seen him back, so hopefully he's okay. Low snap, Xavier going to try it again, and could not connect. Matt Thomas again, and that's the only guy Xavier Tinnitus is looking at right now. It's been his go-to receiver, and he's just having Matt Thomas just run down the sideline. He's chucking it down to him. So now you've got third and forever. You need to get at least half of this back. You need to make fourth down manageable. You don't need a touchdown here, but you need to make it 4th and 10 or less. Pressure, Xavier, he's in trouble. He gets it away from it, throws it, and nearly picked off. So now you're 4th and 27, and you don't complete this first down. Decatur Central will get the ball back with just under 7 minutes to go in the first half and a 22-0 lead. So, Coach Whitson, you need a big play call here because you need this first down or a score. One of the two. Decatur Central has all kinds of defensive backs, throws it, but it's going to be well short of the first down to Matt Thomas. Nine-yard pickup there on the pass, but that drive is heartbreak. We've just had a couple of heartbreaking drives on defense. You had the 4th and long, and Decatur Central was able to score on a long touchdown pass. And then there, just on offensively, you had a touchdown, 17-yard touchdown pass from Xavier Tinnitus to Matt Thomas that was taken away from another chop block, the second chop block of the night for the Artesians. And now Decatur Central gets the football back. And Peyton Horsley's just going to keep it himself, goes around the left side, still on his feet, and is drugged down from behind. Larry Bland, I believe, was the one that brought that player down. A 21-yard run there for the quarterback. His longest of the night so far. Fakes it. Trying to get to Javon Tracy. It is caught. Actually caught it out of bounds, so an incomplete, only the second incomplete pass thrown by Horsley. Tried to get Javon Tracy. It's a break for the Artesians. Great catch by Javon, but could not keep his feet in. Going to hand it off to Hicks. He gets hit hard and driven back. Will Nix, great tackle there. Only a 3-yard pickup. Will Nix, an excellent tackle, one-on-one right there. Bring up 3rd and about 6 coming up for the Hawks. Artesian show pressure. And Martinsville called a timeout. The right end of that defense jumped a little bit, but jumped back in time. No penalty was called, but Coach Whitson calls the timeout, his second. He's got one more left. Decatur Central used all theirs in the first quarter. So big 3rd down here. Be good if the Artesians can not give up any more yards. You don't want to give Decatur Central a decision to make for 4th and short, but if you can make a stop or push them back, force a punt, and maybe your offense can march down and get a score. Like I said, Artesians will get the football back to start the second half, but they need to get some points on the scoreboard before halftime. So a big 3rd down here. 3rd and 7 is the down and distance. Horsley rolls to his right. He's going to throw it. He has a man wide open right at the sticks. 40. Near the 30-yard line. The 20-yard play there for the Hawks. Matt Cook was that receiver, and he was wide open. There was not an Artesian defender around him. And a fresh set of downs for the Hawks. And now they've got a chance to put more points on the board with 5:09 left to go. Going to be an end around, little trouble with it. Javon Tracy with it, gets tackled from behind. And a flag comes way late. I mean, that is extremely late. We'll see what this is about. This has to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or something. I saw that official look like he was reaching for his flag, so I don't know if – so it's a block in the back, so it was not after the play. Maybe the official was just having a hard time getting his flag out of his pocket, because that came well after the play was over. So a first down, but it's 1st and 20. Ball just outside the 40-yard line there. Horsley back to pass. Still looking. He's got all kinds of running room, though, on the far side. Will Nix gets him to cut inside, but he does get out to the 35-yard line. So about a 6-yard pickup there. Once again, as Horsley was looking, could not find anybody, got a little pressure, but was able to escape and gets positive yardage. Still 2nd long for the Hawks. Horsley, quick pass this time, off the hands of his intended receiver. That was Cook, who had a big reception to give them a first down earlier on that drive, but went through his hands, and now a 3rd and long for the Hawks. Artesian defense still a chance to force a 4th down here. Get some pressure from the outside, and Horsley still escapes. And he's going and gets hit hard, but not before he gets the 1st down. Andy Myers with the shot, but that's enough for the 1st down. Once again, Artesians do get pressure on Horsley and force him to leave the pocket, but just like every other time, he's been able to escape that and get positive yardage, and that time it's another 1st down for Decatur Central. Good job there by the Artesian defense that time to limit that gain. Second down for the Hawks. They've got 3 minutes to go. Artesians need to get a stop. They cannot give up any more points. And a good tackle there. Good job by the Artesian defense. Try to see who the first one was on there for the Artesian. Looked like 57, James Hicks with the first shot. And then the rest of his teammates came and wrapped up the ball carrier. So another 3rd down coming up for Decatur Central, but they have been able to convert these all night. Artesians desperately need to get a stop. Decatur Central has only had to punt 1 time. Peyton Horsley rolls to his right. He throws it. He has a man wide open. It is caught and tackled across the 5-yard line. So another 1st down for Decatur Central, and they've got a chance to punch this in at the half and make this halftime deficit a big one. Hand it off to Tracy. Tracy is going to get it for the touchdown. 3-yard run for Tracy, his 3rd touchdown of the night.
There you go.
28-0 right now with the extra point coming up. Another bad snap, and I guess they just go ahead and stop it. They do not give Decatur Central a chance to run that. Regardless, 28-0 is your score as Decatur Central has just dominated, as you can tell by the scoreboard, the first half. Coach Whitson did say that. You can't look at the record of Decatur Central and see, oh, they're 1-2. We're 2-1. We're going to be better than them. Coach Whitson commented on the coaches show how athletic and how many athletic guys this team has. And their two losses have come to 6A schools, Westfield and Franklin Central. see what Martinsville offense does here with 1:45 to go. Teams have had some issues with the return game tonight. Have had a couple bobbles, but that man, Andy Myers, had a nice return last time. And this time he's going to try to get to the outside. He's made one man miss and gets tackled out of bounds. That's a late hit as he was dragged down well out of bounds, I should say. So that'll give Martinsville 15 free yards. So this should be good starting field position again for Martinsville. They've had some good starting field position a couple times, just has not been able to capitalize. Official will count the yardage. So Martinsville will start this drive at the 40-yard line with 1:37 left. Little short pass there, and the ball comes loose. And Decatur Central recovers. With the Larry Bland with the catch. Would have been about a 9-yard reception. This game, unfortunately, keeps going from bad to worse. Ball midfield for Decatur Central. Just when you think Martinsville may going to the locker room down 28-0. Decatur Central, after the fumble on the first play of the drive, Horsley, he's wanting more. He's got Kenny Tracy wide open in the middle of the field, but good job by Martinsville to kind of recover. Andy Myers there on the defensive play. Unfortunately, I still do not see Weston Pemberton, Artesian's leading tackle. He went out with an injury early, I believe, in the second quarter on a running play. Not back out there. Fakes the toss, hands it inside. Good job, good discipline by the Artesians. Javon Tracy there on the run. Under minutes to go here, third down for the Hawks. Artesian just desperately trying to keep this at 28-0. Horsley gets the pressure, throws it. It is caught. What a catch by Javon Tracy. And no, he dropped it. Good defense there by the Artesians to rip that away because at first he came down with it. The ball was batted away from his hands. That'll bring up fourth down. Decatur Central, they're going to go for it, or they're just going to punt this away, and I'm guessing Decatur Central will probably punt this. Looks like they're in a punting situation. Ensure that if they don't get it, Martinsville doesn't have a shorter field to work with here. Payne Horsley has punted once tonight. Going to roll out, He's going to fake the punt. Now he's got some pressure, and he will go down. Sacked from behind, kind of faked the punt and was going to roll out to pass and got caught from behind. So now the Artesians will have 37 seconds and I believe one timeout to try to get something in the end zone. Maybe get a little bit of momentum going into the locker room. Because right now Decatur Central has it all. Coach Enright, little bit of a gamble there. Got a little bit of greedy. And we'll see if the Artesians can make them pay. Xavier throws it to the outside, and Matt Thomas is hit immediately. And Artesians will call, I believe, their final timeout of the half. It'll be second down from the 45-yard line of the Hawks. .24 and a half seconds left. Artesians just trying to get something. Artesians no timeout, so first down will stop the clock just momentarily. You can spike it and then maybe take a couple shots in the end zone. Xavier once again throws it to LaFerry. He makes one man miss. He's got to get out of bounds, and he does. About the 30-yard line. So stop clock. Clock is stopped. Gonna try to get Andy Myers. It is caught and touchdown. And that is exactly what the Artesians needed with under 10 seconds left. Xavier Tinnitus connects. Xavier Tinnitus connects to Andy Myers on a 30-yard touchdown pass, the first touchdown of the night for the Artesians, but it's exactly what Martinsville needed. They needed just something, just a little bit of positivity going into the locker room. So the roll of the dice on fourth down for Coach Enright does come back to bite him. However, he will still have a big lead going into the locker room, but now the Artesians have a little bit, and that kick is no good. Artesians went for the extra point. Artesians have to be careful. Decatur Central has a lot of athletes that can return some kicks, so you may want to try to squib this or do something safe that will limit any chance of a return for Decatur Central. Positive thing, you see how quick Martinsville can strike offensively. Matt Thomas and Andy Myers on the outside. Great ball thrown by Xavier Tinnitus.
What is he doing? No. Listen. Well, your ass got replaced in soccer.
So Artesian's kicking this off. Just can't give up a return here. Like I said, you got a little bit of momentum. Squib kick bounces and covered up there by Decatur Central. They'll have about 7 seconds, so they'll be able to run one more play. We'll see if Coach Enright just has them take a knee. So with the Artesians, all the mistakes and just nothing really going right, the Artesians do connect on the touchdown pass from Tinnitus to Andy Myers right at the end of this half to give them a little bit of momentum and at least some points on the board. Decatur Central, they may take a shot. Horsley rolls out, rolls to his right, and just throws it away. That will stop the clock with 1.2 seconds left. So we'll see. Maybe Decatur Central was just trying to maybe get it to midfield and do a heave to the end zone, but incomplete pass there, bring up second down. So final play here of the half, unless there is a penalty, more than likely. Artesians in a kind of a prevent defense, just don't want to give up a big play. Horsley back, throws it to Javon, and it's through his hands, and that will do it. So that's the end of the first half. Artesians, some things to clean up in the locker room at the half. They're down 28-6, but they will be getting the football back to start the half. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Our definition of a relationship is being able to look you in the eye and hear about your concern, hearing about your family, hearing about your job, hearing about your aspirations, getting to know you, and positioning ourselves to help you meet those dreams. Now that sounds pretty old-fashioned, but we're not willing to give that up. We're simply not going to give that up.
For all the banking services you need, there's no place like home.
Join the majority.
And welcome back, everyone. MHS Rewind YouTube channel. WREP 15 Sports, Eric Burns here with you. Halftime at Decatur Central High School where the Artesians down 28-6. Some things to clean up for sure, but they were able to get one last touchdown before the end of the half, and they will get the ball back before to start the second half. So maybe you get a score to start this second half. Some things maybe turn around a little bit for you. You change the momentum. Let's go ahead and go back to last week. Coach Whitson talked about the game at Greenwood, and we'll show you some of the highlights from last week's game.
Greenwood game and take a look at some of the highlights from the contest against the Woodmen on Friday night. It was National Guard night out there, a great ceremony prior to the game, but then you get going here on offense right away.
Yep, first possession, throw a little screen here to Tyler Cox. You can see the shadows. It was our first really sunny home game, and I don't know why they put the stadium like this, but my guys are looking into the sun the whole game. You can see them shading their eyes. But we get off to a good start offensively. We hit a screen to get the momentum going. Then we got a little run game to keep them honest. And then this is, who we are right here, throwing deep ball. to Andy Myers, and Andy makes an explosive play, good protection up front. Xavier makes a great throw, and you'll see 81 and 31 in the end zone a bunch this year, so that was good. Get back to offense again. We're on a little draw here. It's a power draw. It's been a good play for us. We're going to continue to use that. And now you get into the second quarter, trying to get the ball into some of our weapons' hands right there with Billy Bias, who's been playing mainly defense. But you can just see Billy with the ball in his hands is a special player. So we're going to continue to build up what he does for us as a senior. Drop back to pass. There's Xavier right here again going to Matt Thomas. We got to keep him on his feet. I always ask him who tackled you. He's excited right there, but he's mad too. He wants to get in the end zone, so we can't have that right there. Screen, good screen play. Get some good blocking out front. Get down tighter and tighter and down close to the end zone, but we got to finish those drives. Here we go defensively. Again, it was a slower game for those guys, and it was a ground and pound and 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And we felt like we played okay. We didn't play great. We didn't play great assignment football. We go back and watch that film, whether it was offensively and defensively, we gave up 24 points we should not have. So you don't give up those 24 points, and it's a whole different ball game. Another shot down there to Andy Myers on a little play action. Sprint out's been good for us so far this year. Craig Wesner had a good game as a senior, making some big-time catches on third down, getting Xavier some easy throws out on movement with the sprint outs. There you go defensively, Will Nix and Malachi Pringle right there, always in the mix of it. You'll see Nigel Bryant making a bunch of plays. Weston Pemberton, again, we've talked about him, and you're going to hear about him for the rest of the year and the next 2 years. He's a special player as a young guy, as a sophomore. Jacob Burkett making plays. Jacob Burkett, again, a four-year starter at outside linebacker. It's great to have him out there. He's a kid that creates chaos for everybody else, and he's awesome to have. Back to Craig again. Very similar. Craig does a good job right there getting the ball back to the ref so we can go fast. We go fast with Weston Pemberton, a little change up at tailback, and run it right. Good 10-yard gain. We got a really good drive right here going in the third quarter. Even though we were down a bunch, we established the run, and that really helped us, get the ball outside and finish a drive finally here. And this was a fourth down play right here, a little boot and with a T-wheel. O-line did a great job. Tyler did a good job selling it, and Xavier hit him wide open in the end zone. Now we're back to defense. We got some momentum. We scored. We got them in 3rd and 4, and then we stop them. And then we're back on offense right here. Big long run with Will Nix. There's Weston Pemberton again. Weston and Will Nix are doing a good job of giving us a change up at tailback. Then here we go on a deep post shot to Andy Myers. Awesome touchdown right there, great throw. Not a whole lot you can do to defend that with the weapons that we have, so we gotta do that a little bit more. Now we're trying to look at it. It's a 7-point game. We're mad at ourselves. We're disappointed. We don't feel like we played well, but it's a 7-point game and we have a chance, and that's all we can ask for.
When you get that last stop there, we aren't going to show the last play that's on here that'll come up here in a second, but that was you had a tip ball. Yep. Their guy makes a nice play on it in the end zone. It looked like at first that maybe he didn't catch it. I went back and watched it. It looks pretty clear that he got it before it hit the ground.
It's a game of inches.
Yep.
If we're in a 2-inch better position at corner right there, that ball's batted down. We got the ball back down 7 points with 3 minutes left. I feel good about that. So, we took something out of that with a loss. And ate a little bit of humble pie and realized, we got to prep and we got to prepare and respect everybody we play. And hopefully moving forward, our kids got a lesson learned from that game and we can get better and get back on the winning streak.
And welcome back, everyone. WREP 15 Sports. That was Coach Whitson talking about last week's game against Greenwood, showing some of the highlights. This week for tonight's game, Artesians trail the Hawks 28-6 at the half. Artesians were able to get a touchdown pass to Andy Myers to make that score a little bit better. Gets at least 6 points on the board, and we'll see if the Artesians can kind of bounce back in the second half and take control. Let's go ahead and go through to the halftime stats here. We'll show them to you right there on the screen. As to start out, we know the score already. Passing yards, Decatur Central 158 yards compared to Martinsville, who is 127. Rushing yards, that has been the problem for Martinsville, and it's really struggled the past couple games for Martinsville, only 11 yards rushing, and you've got to thank Will Nix because if not for him, you'd probably be negative rushing yards on the night. 96 rushing yards for Decatur Central. 10 first downs for the Hawks and 5 for the Artesians. And the turnovers, Artesians losing the turnover battle 1-0. That was a late fumble in the first half that you thought could really spell disaster, because if Decatur Central puts more points on the board, it could be a 35-0 game. Unfortunately, Artesians held. Decatur Central went for it on a kind of a fake punt rollout. Tried to pass it, didn't get it, and the Artesians were able to go down the field and score to make it a 28-6. It could easily have gone 35-0, but you got to give credit to the Artesian defense on that last stand and the Artesian offense for getting it into the end zone, as the Artesians trail the Hawks 28-6. We'll take you down to the field to listen to the Decatur Central marching band just for a moment. And that was the Decatur Central marching band. And yes, you heard that right. That was a Christmas-themed show in middle of September. So Decatur Central marching band, nice job. The large marching band here, I think over 200 members is what I heard in their marching band. So very impressive set piece at Decatur Central marching band. Let's go ahead and take you to a special segment that two members of the Martinsville football team and the MHS Rewind TV Productions class has put together. It's a segment during the coaches show called Under the Helmet with Anthony Talent and Michael Thomas. Let's take you to that segment right now.
Anthony, do you want to be good or great? Which one is it, huh?
I don't know.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Under the Helmet with Talent and Thomas. I'm your host, Anthony Talent.
I'm your other host, Matt Thomas.
Today we're joined by Nigel Bryant. Last episode, we got critiqued on our informal outfit, so we decided to get a little classy on you guys. Nigel, how was your performance at Bloomington South?
Pretty good. Obviously, we had big implications. South's our big, rival. Haven't seen them since we lost in double overtime. As a team, I think we had some first half jitters. You know what I mean? It was 0-0 at the half. But we came out, our offense was explosive as it usually is. But I think our defense kind of kept us in the game. Ended up only giving up 6 points to a pretty good South team. So
you say it's 0-0 at half.
Yeah.
So what does Whitson say in the locker room to you guys to try to motivate you to do better?
He's not a big speech guy. You know what I mean? Get you pumped up. He kind of just leaves it to the players. We were pretty tired. They didn't have very good air conditioning in their locker room, which plays a factor if you play a lot.
Yeah, it does.
So,
for sure.
And then individually, I think I did pretty good. It was probably my best game that I've had. Our coaches really prepared us well for the game. Defensively, we made South completely alter their game plan in the second half. They're usually like a inside running team. Well, they had to switch everything past more because of our different defensive adjustments. So Coach McKinney, Coach Mosgrip, Coach Trump are good with that. But the whole team was a good team effort.
All right. And what would you say about your little rivalry you had going on, Malachi Pringle in the weight room and on the field and just every day?
Well, he's a good friend of mine. He's probably my best friend. You know what I mean? So we're about the same size. He's a little taller. I'm a little wider. But we lift about the same. We play the same position. So, he benches more. I say I squat more. It's kind of, he's a little more athletic. I think I'm a little better at football. So.
Yeah.
So what is your, everybody has their own little routine before a game. Well, what's your pregame routine? What do you usually do? Oh, he's up. Oh, no. Well, all right, folks. That's what we have for Nigel. Is he banged his head off a locker. So, whenever you grow up, do you bang your head off lockers? I've seen professionals like lifters do that and all that. So do you want to be a professional lifter or something like that? You're really into lifting a lot, and you compete with Malachi. And
yeah, it's usually, staying fit's a big thing. I'm always going to lift. It's kind of just to keep me, going for football after high school, if there's not any injuries or anything. Knock on wood. The hope is to play college football somewhere, preferably on a full ride. And so I'm not the biggest guy, so strength is a big aspect as far as college football goes.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, and if on that, going on to play football after high school, if you couldn't get to a college football team, what's your opinion on the semi-pro leagues?
It kind of depends on each person. You know what I mean?
Well, what about even pro? Talking about pro?
Yeah, if you can, then I would. You know what I mean? If you can go and advance a football career and do that for a living, still make the same amount of money that you can do from another job, that's pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and what's the importance of your mindset before the game? As Coach Whitson always says, have the right mindset. Girls aren't as pretty and the jokes aren't as funny. So how's that important to you?
That's right.
It's really important with me specifically because, I said I'm kind of small earlier. I guess I'm not, but I go up against guys that are much larger. So, I kind of I had a switch before the game. You kind of saw that. It's just, you have to completely alter the way you are before a game, and it changes everything.
So that really gets you going.
Yeah.
That gets your motor going.
I didn't really do it as hard as I normally would have, but yeah.
What else do you do other than bang?
I pace around a lot. I yell a lot. You can usually, right before we go out, hear the screams, and everybody kind of knows who it is.
That's Nigel Bryant.
Yeah, so.
You hear him breathing hard, you know to get away.
Yeah.
Have you ever been injured doing this pregame routine?
Not that specifically, but me and another guy usually smash helmets together, and I think that might have.
Is it the same guy every week, or do you mix it up?
Yeah, it's usually Malachi. So,
Malachi?
Yeah, or Ethan Potteroff.
Yep.
But I think it might have broke the nose, but it's okay.
Now, whenever you thought about you broke your nose, didn't you still go out and play?
Well, yeah, I don't have any money to fix it, first of all.
Oh.
But second of all, yeah.
We're all broke, we're kids.
So, but yeah.
All right, we want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Wait.
Yeah,
Instagram picture.
Oh, I forgot.
Dang.
All right, so the first picture on the Instagram page is from your old Instagram.
Yeah, okay.
And it says, clowning.
Yeah.
Clowning.
What is your explanation for that picture?
This is like after the 4th freshman football practice. It's feeling kind of cool, you know what I mean? So,
How do you know it's the 4th one?
I don't know. I made that up.
I think we have
It's okay.
All right, we got 2 more after that. Here's the next one.
Malachi
Feeling
took that
kind of
one.
tired.
Yeah,
I can see.
that's basketball season for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the last one.
Snoozing.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right, so yeah, that's the fair this year. We had
I think I actually watched you do that.
yeah, we had a punching machine for the fair, and some dude hit like 940, and he was drinking beer, and I was like, I gotta show this dude up. So I came up, got a couple warm-up swings in, and then I did that and kind of walked away. So it was
All right. Well, that's all the time we got for this week. Thanks, Nigel.
Yep,
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and make sure you tune in next Thursday with Under the Helmet with Talent and Thomas.
And that was a segment presented by Anthony Talent and Matthew Thomas. I think I called him Michael Thomas on the intro. Michael Thomas. Matt is not the receiver of the New Orleans Saints, even though he plays pretty well. Has several catches tonight, but Nigel Bryant was their guest on Under the Helmet, and that's filmed and then aired during the Coaches Show, brought to you by the MHS TV Productions class. We've got about 3 minutes left until halftime is over. We're going to take a quick break, then we'll come back and get this second half rolling right for this.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolfert, president of the IHSAA Foundation. Lots of high school athletes here in Indiana have gone on to become collegiate All-Americans. A few of them have even turned pro. But participating in high school sports has helped virtually every high school athlete become a good American. That's because playing high school sports teaches life lessons like the importance of persistence, teamwork, tenacity, preparation, and hard work. The IHSAA Foundation was created to help high school administrators and coaches become more effective role models and teachers, emphasizing values that will help their players become better athletes, better representatives of their community, and better Americans. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
And welcome back, everyone, to WREP 15 Sports. Thanks if you're watching us live through the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Got about a minute 40 left to go here at halftime. Artesians with some ground to make up. They trail the Decatur Central Hawks 28-6. I'd like to take this time to thank the Decatur Central Productions class, DC Live, that is kind of working together on this broadcast. Maximus Bond running the camera for DC Live, and we're kind of using their shot. Running camera for MHS Rewind is Raina Cox, Annabelle Cleary, and Style Meckling. So we do appreciate all the students who help make this broadcast work. Artesians in that game, we already kind of showed you some of the halftime stats. They had 127 yards through the air and only 11 yards rushing, and that has kind of been an issue the last couple of games, just not really able to get the ground game going. Decatur Central, 158 yards, passing, and 96 yards on the ground. And the only reason you look at the score and you think that the yardage should have more disparity between the two teams, Decatur Central has had several drives that have started on short field. So they really haven't needed to churn out big, long drives. They've been kind of quick strikes on some short field. And Artesians will get the football to start. the second half. Looking ahead to next week, I understand we still have an entire half left, but just to kind of fill some time, next week doesn't get any easier. The Artesians are at home against Franklin. Now, this Franklin team is a much improved Franklin. They're 3-0 to start the season and have had some big wins early on. Decatur Central, they play the number 1 ranked 4A squad and Morgan County rival to Martinsville, Mooresville, on the road next week. Right now, I'm sure Coach Kyle Enright is just wanting to make sure his team finishes tonight. And on the other side, Coach Whitson, he's going to want to try to do the opposite. He is going to want to score on this very first drive, get a stop, and really change the momentum of this game. Artesians have their work cut out for them. Kicks it off, taken around the 10-yard line on the outside. Tries to cut back in, gets hit several times. Gets it across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Tanner Smith, number 24, on that return. All right, so we'll see what the Artesian offense can do. It's mainly been a connection to Thomas and Myers. Nice little run there. It looks like that's Tyler Cox. Good to see him get something. Really struggled in that first half finding anything. Gets a few yards out to the 30-yard line, so at least we got some positive yards on the ground game. Second down coming up for the Artesians. Quick pass out to Thomas. Can he make his defender miss? He drags him, gets it out to about the 35. Actually drags his defender to the 37. If that is where the spot is, then nope, they're going to move it back. I'm looking at the far side official. He had it marked at the 37, but moves it back to actually closer to the 35. Now there's some confusion. So it should be 3rd and 2. The down marker has a first down, but now they get it corrected. So it's 3rd and 2 from about the 35, 36-yard line, kind of in between there. So about 1.5 yards for Martinsville. Need to get this drive continuing. Low snap. Xavier's going to throw on 3rd and 2. He's got pressure. He's going to throw it to Thomas. Thomas has it caught and steps out of bounds after going across the 30. Matt Thomas has had a big first half. He was kind of the go-to receiver. He was the only one really Xavier Tinnitus was really looking at until he connected with Andy Myers in that touchdown. Also, I believe Matthew LaFerry had a catch or two in that first half. But Matt Thomas has been the go-to guy. So now you get it inside the 30. So a quick strike there. This is exactly what the Artesians needed. Now they need to punch it in. Fakes the handoff to Tyler. Now he's going to tuck and run. Makes a man miss. Gets it across. Gets positive yards to about the 25-yard line. So good job by Xavier not to lose yardage and actually get some positive yards out of that. So a short run by Tinnitus. Cox in the backfield. Going to hand it off to him. He's going to try to get the edge, just nowhere to go. Makes one man miss, but cannot make the second. And will go backwards about 1 yard or two. Artesians just have not been able to find any room around the edges either side. And now we're going to have a stoppage of play. We've got another Decatur Central player down and hurt. Unfortunately, Decatur Central lost, I believe, an offensive lineman to injury. And he was carted, made it to the sideline, but then was taken on a cart with a big bag of ice on his knee. So this is second injury for Decatur Central. You never want to see that. He's able to get up and hobble off, and that's a big injury for Decatur Central. I believe that's number 90, Jordan Miles, a big important player for Decatur Central. He's actually committed to play football for Air Force, and now he's on the sideline, but good to see him able to go off on his own power. So now 3rd and long for Martinsville inside the 30, but they need a first down. They need to keep this drive going. Xavier escapes, finds Matthew Thomas, who cannot escape that tackle. Matt Thomas is drugged from behind. We've got 2 flags late. Matt Thomas a little slow to get up and can't have another injury. And it's going to be a personal foul against Decatur Central. It's a roughing the passer, so that is a huge play for Martinsville, because they were looking at fourth down, but after the roughing the passer, that should be enough for the first down. Matthew Thomas goes off on the sideline, kind of grabbing at his ankles there. Hopefully he is able to come back. You've already seen your star defensive player, Weston Pemberton, go off and miss most of the second quarter with an injury. We'll have to wait and see if he comes back. You don't want to lose one of your star offensive players either, especially when you're trying to claw back and get back into this game. So after the roughing the passer penalty, that does give Martinsville a first down. Ball will be marked at the 15-yard line. And now that you've got it here, Artesian's inside the red zone. Artesians need to punch it in. They cannot come away from here with 0 points. You need to score here, then your defense, you need to get a stop. But first, you need points here. You're down 28-6 on the road. Blitz is picked up, and it's over the middle. Knocked away. Now, there was some flags that came. There's a flag around the 5-yard line. We'll have to see what this penalty's about, but Xavier Tinnitus tried to thread the needle there and hit his receiver toward the back of the end zone. I believe it's a holding call on Decatur Central, so it looks like one of those defensive backs got a hold of a Artesian receiver. That was Andy Myers, the intended receiver on that play, but the incompletion, moot point now after the defensive holding. That moves the ball up now inside the 10-yard line. So now you've got 1st and goal coming up from the 8. So 2 big penalties back-to-back for Decatur Central. The roughing the passer penalty, which gave the Artesians a first down when they would have been facing 4th down, and then penalty right there. Xavier rolls to his left, rolling to his left. Now he's going to have to cut back, and he will go down. Sacked from behind, just could not find anybody to open. And if you're Xavier, you got to know to feel that pressure and just throw that away. It's more important to be 2nd and goal from the 8 instead of 2nd goal from the 21. Just needed to throw that one away because could not find anybody. Obviously don't want to force anything. Now Will Nix in the backfield. And Will Nix is slung down. Running game just not finding any room. And now you've got 3rd and goal from the 22. This has been an issue for the Artesians. I've said it a couple times in this broadcast, but just they've been able to, past couple games, get it inside the red zone, but then just stalls out. And when you're struggling from your ground game the last 2 games, that's going to usually happen. Good block picked up by Will Nix, but just nowhere to throw the football and another sack. And Martinsville is just going backwards here, folks. Xavier Tinnitus just cannot find a receiver, and Decatur Central is sending pressure. Now 4th and goal from the 34-yard line. Decatur Central was able to do something similar here. They had 4th and 22 and were able to connect on a long touchdown pass. We will see if Martinsville can do the same. This drive started out very promising. Thought Martinsville could maybe get a score and then a stop, but right now they're just really going to be in tough. And Xavier Tinnitus steps up. He's going to throw it. He does have a man, and it's caught. But a flag is thrown. It's a touchdown, and Martinsville does do it. They convert on 4th down. And it was number 31, I believe, Andy Myers. Andy Myers with his 2nd touchdown reception of the night. Wow, what a play. Artesians looking like they were dead in the water there. 4th and goal from, I believe it was the 34-yard line, and Xavier Tinnitus connects with Andy Myers, and Andy Myers actually had a defender wrapped all over him. A penalty was thrown, but it was pass interference on Decatur Central. So now the Artesians will go for 2 here. They tried an extra point. It got blocked after their first touchdown. Now Artesians trying to get 2 points here and make this a 2-score game. Xavier fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. He's going to hit Will Nix, and it is. He dropped it. No good. That play was drawn up perfectly, and Will Nix could not hang on to it. But Artesians do get 6. They ran that play last week against Greenwood and actually got a touchdown out of it. Tyler Cox was the receiver on that play, and it was drawn up perfectly. Will Nix was wide open, had to go down and get the throw. The throw was maybe a little lower than he wanted to, but Will Nix couldn't hang on to it. 21-12, your score. Still a 2-score game, down 16, but to score again, you're going to need to get those 2-point conversions. Artesians not been as successful with those 2-point conversions as they were. I believe it was the opening game against Bedford. Haven't quite been able to be as successful as that first game. Brennan Shoemaker, the senior, kick this off. See if we can get a leg into it. Kicks along the ground, and it will go out of bounds. There was a penalty flag thrown. Now, did a Decatur Central player touch it before it went out of bounds? Officials are going to say no. So that'll put the football at the 35-yard line. So Artesian defense now, they need to get a stop. Artesian offense did their job, scored a touchdown on the opening drive. Maybe took a little longer than they wanted to, but they got 6 points. Now we'll see Decatur Central's offense for the first time this second half. Hands it off on the outside, and Javon Tracy has some running room, cuts back and is hit out of bounds, but not before he gets a first down. Decatur Central has ran that play a couple times. They kind of faked the sweep and then hand it off inside. And number 11 has had some success a few times on that run. So first down for the Hawks. Kenny Tracy Still going, gets it out to the 45-yard line. Thought he was going to be tripped up near midfield, but was able to keep going and get about 8 yards on that run. Kind of hurry up to the line, but now check the sideline for the play. Artesians kind of show like they're going to be blitzing. Around the outside, that is Tracy. Javon Tracy, the sophomore, gets drugged down, but not before he gets a big chunk of yards for another first down. So this is exactly what Coach Enright wants from his squad, as now Martinsville has a player down. And this one looks to be a cramp, which I mentioned in the early first part of the broadcast that could happen because of how hot and humid it was to start the game. Obviously now the sun's gone down, it's cooled off a little bit, but still pretty hot for middle of September. Now that player, I cannot see who it is being tended to, but does look to be a cramp the way the athletics trainers are working on him. Decatur Central doing exactly what they needed to do after the Martinsville score to open the second half. And that is Andy Myers. Now he had some cramping issues earlier in the season, so he'll have to go off this play, but hopefully he can get some fluids in him and get back out there. Obviously he's a big, important part of this Artesian offense and defense, and unfortunately, unless I am mistaken, I'll check rear here as the Artesians come back, but I do not see Weston Pemberton, the sophomore, number 26, out on the field. Like I said, he went out with an injury earlier in the early part of the second quarter, and I do not see him back out there. So Artesian's missing their leading tackler on defense right now. Let's see if the defense can step up and get a stop. Just hands it up right up the middle. And Hicks, look how strong he's going, and it's still on his feet. And finally drugged down after he gets across the 20-yard line. That was just a run right up the middle. And had the strength to carry 3 or 4 Martinsville players before they could bring him down. So another first down for Decatur Central. Ball inside the red zone for the Hawks. Artesians cannot give up a score here. They need to come up with either a turnover or get some sort of stop. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And they're still down 28-12. Hands it off up the middle. Bounces on the outside. Misses the tackle on Javon. And he just steps out of bounds. About the 15-yard line, so about a 4-yard pickup there. You see how shifty Tracy brothers are. Number 13, 11, they are brothers. They've got an older brother, Tyrone, who plays at Iowa, and their cousin, Larry, plays at Indiana. I had mentioned number 13, the senior, has several different offers to play football at various schools, including several Ivy League schools. So a very good student as well. So second down here for Decatur Central. Martinsville defense needing a stop. This time it's Kenny Tracy with it, and good job by that Artesian defender. Looks like it could have been a hold, but Jackson Kleesner fought off his block, came out and tackled Kenny Tracy almost immediately, got a few yards on that. It's going to bring up third and about 3 yards. Just this offense, just so much misdirection with faking sweeps, handoff inside and vice versa. Just a lot of misdirection in this Decatur Central offense. A lot of moving parts here. The Artesian defense, though, needs to try to get a stop here. They just hand it off to, nope, the quarterback's going to keep it. He jukes his man, lowers his shoulder, still going, and tackled out of bounds. But he gets inside the 5-yard line for another first down. Martinsville had a chance maybe at Peyton Horsley for a no gain, but was able to shake off the defender and get the extra yardage inside the 5-yard line now. Now, first and goal. Decatur Central with some movement. That's the last thing you want to do if you're the Hawks. Movement on the offensive line. So that gives the Artesian defense a little bit of breathing room, but still inside the 10-yard line, first and goal for the Hawks. Hands it off to Javon up the middle, and he will actually stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line. So I thought Javon Tracy was in, but he stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line. I think Javon Tracy thought he was in. The official said he stepped out of bounds right at basically the half-yard line. So all Decatur Central has to do is move that football just up about 6 inches, and they're going to have the touchdown. Tough task here for the Artesians. Javon bounces off to the outside, and that time he is in. Thought an Artesian defender might have a shot at him, but once again, you just see how quick the sophomore is. Made a lot of defenders miss on that drive, and it chewed up a lot of clock. And that's exactly the response that Coach Enright wanted. Good snap, and it's blocked. The Artesians do get a block on the extra point. And that was actually probably the best snap and hold that Decatur Central had. There's a couple times in those extra points they've kind of fumbled up with the snap and the hold. That time it looked good, but Artesians were able to get in there and get a hand on it and block it. But Decatur Central puts 6 more points on the board and grows their lead once again. So Martinsville with 2 really strong performances to start the season. Really jumped all over Bedford North Lawrence, got a big win there. Then a huge rivalry win against 5A Bloomington South Panthers in the second game. That game was scoreless in the first half. Then Artesians were able to jump out and take control in the second half, and a big, big win then for them. And then last week, bit of a letdown against Greenwood. That's a 4A school that is in your sectional, so you may see Greenwood again. But despite all the hiccups and the mistakes, Martinsville's down 25-6 in the first half of that game. Clawed their way back to 25-18, and it was on 4th down, a tip ball that was caught in the end zone by Greenwood that really gave them the win. I think Tanner Smith again on this return. And not much room there. Does get across the 20. So Artesian went down last week, and now they've got a uphill battle here, 34-12, and looks like we've got another injured Artesian, number 42 here, Jake Hamilton, and he will go back down. So now we've got a stop play here again for another injured player. We will see. And this one does not look like a cramp the way that the athletic trainer is working on him there. Normally if it's a cramp, you see the athletic trainer lift the legs and kind of bend the foot or the toes toward the player's body, but this time you're not really seeing that, or at least I'm not seeing that. So Not a trainer, so don't want to speculate, but it does not look like it's a cramp. Well, at least the trainer does not think so. Sophomore number 42, Jake Hamilton, is the injured player for Martinsville. And unfortunately, part of football is can be a physical and dangerous game at times. One of the most dangerous parts are the kickoffs. That's why you see so many rule changes at the all levels of football, really, to try to eliminate those injuries on the kickoffs. Could not see what happened. At least they have the Martinsville player sitting up, it looks like, which is always good. But you have now the head coach, Coach Whitson, and athletic director Kip Staggs also out there, along with a couple of members of the training staff from Decatur Central as well. So now they've got Hamilton up on his feet. And Jake Hamilton will walk off, for the most part, on his own power. It doesn't look like trainers are really helping him up, so not for sure. Could be a lot of things. Just hope, most importantly, Jake Hamilton is okay, as he will be walked to the sideline, and we'll get play back underway. It's the Artesian offense that will come out on the field. They scored on a touchdown pass, a very impressive 4th and goal, but the 4th and goal was from the 34-yard line after a couple of penalties moved and a couple of sacks moved the Artesians backwards after they had the ball inside the 10. And Xavier Tinnitus was able to connect with Andy Myers for the second touchdown of the night. But now the Artesians, after giving up another touchdown to Decatur Central, down 34-12 with only 4:09 left to go in this third quarter. They need to score. They need to score in a hurry. And they're going to try it right now. And incomplete. No flag. Tried to get that on the far side. That was LaFerry who he was trying to hit. Xavier Tinnitus, most of the time when he throws it, it's deep passes along the sideline. I'd like to maybe see him utilize some of his slot receivers. LaFerry, one of them, but Craig Wesner just try to maybe get 7-8 yards in chunks here. Now he's got pressure. He gets hit hard. And Xavier Tinnitus took a shot. And I don't know how many sacks that is, but there's been a handful of sacks, and now we've got another injured player. This time, though, it's a Hawk. Decatur Central with an injured player. So unfortunately, both sides have dealt with some injuries. Damon Porter, the injured player for Decatur Central, and he's able to walk up, but walking very gingerly. So 3rd and long now for Martinsville, and the last 2 games, Xavier Tinnitus has been hit and sacked a few times. Maybe it's rattled him a little bit. Still, though, despite the shots that he took last week, Xavier was able to have a good game passing. The offense itself had 423 yards of offense, and Xavier Tinnitus had a big chunk of those through the air. Not a whole lot on the ground, but over 300 through the air for Xavier last week. Xavier 3rd and long, and it's just going to be a set up a screen. Good play call here. Can they break it? Tyler Cox breaks one man miss, still going, and he gets out to past the 30, so at least you've got a 4th and manageable if you want to go for it. And I think at this point in the game, when you're down by as much as you are, you might as well go for it because you need the points. So that's a great play call as Decatur Central has brought pressure most of the night. You set up a nice little screen. And that's the best way to kind of stop that pass rush a little bit. Set up a screen, and Decatur Central maybe not quite as aggressive. It is 4th and actually very short. It's maybe less than a yard. So Artesians looks to go for it. Xavier under center. Decatur Central brought in fresh bodies there on defense. Xavier runs back up again. Going to try to get it, and he does. So he's got the first down. So Xavier Tinnitus on the QB sneak will get the first down with 2:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. So it always sound like a broken record here, but Artesians really need a score and would be great. And then we get a run play here. It looks like it's Tyler Cox. Ball came loose, but he's down. Clearly down there. Got about a yard on that carry. But Tyler Cox did take a shot there. For Artesians, if they could score here in a hurry, if they could score before the end of the half, have a chance to make it a 2-possession game again with a quarter left. Give them a chance in the 4th quarter, but we've got whistles and a timeout, probably looks like by Decatur Central, and that's what it's going to be. At least Decatur Central this time saved some timeouts for the 4th quarter. In the first half, Decatur Central used all their timeouts in that 1st quarter. First one for them tonight in the 2nd half. I'd like to see Martinsville kind of utilize some of those screen passes, or like I said, just not so much short passes, but short passes to your slot receivers, Wesner and LaFerry, maybe in the middle of the field. Kind of loosen up some of that pressure that Decatur Central has been bringing most of the night. Xavier with the football. Got some pressure, and he is going to go down. Another sack for Decatur Central. I'm obviously not out there, but you would hope maybe Xavier could just throw that away. He's taken a lot of sacks, and that time he had a little bit more time. Obviously, you don't want him to force it and be picked off, but he had a little bit of time to step up and maybe throw it toward the sideline. Sets up a screen, and this time it's going to be sniffed out. Yep, that time Decatur Central saw it. They were fooled the last time, but this time Decatur Central sniffs it out. And we've got another injured player on the field. This is Not good to see. A lot of injuries this quarter. Artesians have had one or two, and now Decatur Central with another. So a lot of stoppage in play due to injuries. That's not what you want to see. Now Artesians facing a 4th down and about 14 yards is what they're looking at. Not going to make the situation any better if you punt it away, so I'm guessing Coach Whitson will go for it here on 4th down. Already converted once this half, and it was a big one. Touchdown pass on 4th and goal, but it was from the 34-yard line, so we'll see if the Artesians can do that again here. Minute and 1 second left in the third quarter. Xavier is back. Almost looks like it's in a punting formation here. And they reset the play clock. And Xavier will actually punt this one away and doesn't get much into it, but does get it across the 50 to about the 45-yard line. So Artesians decide to punt it away and hope the defense can get a 3 and out or force a turnover, something. Time is running out. 1 quarter left, yes. With Artesians down 34-12 here at Decatur Central High School. Decatur Central on 1st down, hands it off around the left side. It's Javon Tracy and gets pushed out of bounds at around the 45, so it's another 1st down. Javon Tracy has really had a big second half. Had some nice plays in the first, but really this third quarter he's had a lot of big carries on the ground, had a touchdown on that last drive. Peyton Horsley back to pass. He's going to throw it. Has Kenny Tracy wide open in the middle of the field. Kenny Tracy to about the 15-yard line. That'll stop the clock momentarily. We'll see how aggressive Coach Enright is here. Play clock and game clock almost running at the same time. 9 seconds on both. We'll hand it off to Javon. Javon makes a couple-man miss, breaks one tackle, still on the outside, and he will score. Javon Tracy with a touchdown, second one of the quarter, and that's how the third quarter will end. We'll have the extra point coming up. But a big run by Javon Tracy made a couple Martinsville players miss with some nice juke moves and just broke out of some tackles there toward the end. And it is 40-12, Decatur Central with an extra point coming up. That extra point is blocked again. So Artesians defending the extra point, doing a nice job. It's 2 blocks, but that is how the third quarter will end. And Started out well for the Artesians. Opening drive had a touchdown, but Decatur Central comes back with not one but 2 touchdowns of their own. And we're 40-12 Decatur Central. We'll be back right after this.
Sportsmanship doesn't happen just on the court or on the field or on the mat. It doesn't happen only in the pool or on the green or the track. It also happens in the stands, on the sidelines, on the web, and at home. That's because sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. We remind you to practice good sportsmanship at all high school sporting events. Treat athletes and officials with respect during competition and especially in social media. And support your team's coaching staff. Remember, sportsmanship has a face. Yours. A message from your high school and the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
So we are back here. WREP 15 Sports. Eric Burns here to give you the fourth and final quarter here at Decatur Central High School. Thanks if you're still watching with us on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Unfortunately, not the results you want to see. Artesians down 40-12. At halftime, it was a score of 28-6, but you thought Artesians scored right there at the end of the half. They were going to receive the second half kickoff. They scored on that second half kickoff, made it 28-12, but Decatur Central came back and scored right back again, and right before the end of the third quarter, Decatur Central with another touchdown. And now the Artesian offense back out. Ball will be marked at about the 20-yard line. Coach Whitson at the coaches show with Eric Meyer this past week said that the Greenwood tape, there's some film you just throw away and you just say, forget that happened. He said the Greenwood loss wasn't like that. He said there were things we wanted to take from that and learn from. As Xavier Tinnitus hands that off and immediately tackled for about a 4-yard loss. I just wonder as a coach what will be done with this film. If they will, just get rid of it and say, hey, that was just not our night. Let's move on. Let's just try to focus next week on Franklin, or if they will try to take some things from here and learn from the mistakes. Low snap. Xavier picks it up, and it is well off the hands. And check that. That may not be. I'll have to see. That may not be the. That is actually Ty Martin, the junior backup quarterback, I believe, at quarterback. Third and long coming up for Martinsville. We had a 4-yard loss on a run. And it is Ty Martin, and legs get tripped up as Andy Myers tried to catch that. The referee said that ball was well over his head, so no penalty. So it is Ty Martin, backup junior quarterback. So Coach Whitson trying to get the backup quarterback some reps. Ty Martin, number 12, a 6'4", 215-pound quarterback. So size difference much bigger than Xavier Tinnitus. Xavier Tinnitus 5'10", 175 pounds. Ty Martin punts this, and it is going to at least take a little bit of a roll, but across the 35-yard line, Decatur Central will have a short field once again. Seems like they've had a short field so many times. It's because of Decatur Central has had a couple really nice returns. There's been just some issues where Artesians have been backed up into their own territory and have had to punt it. And they don't have a true punter, so their quarterbacks are the ones that have to do the punting duties. And those punts really haven't gone for much. So ball will be at the 35-yard line for Decatur Central. And a handoff. Number 33 with that carry. Carrion Underwood, senior running back. And then number 15 is the quarterback, Eric James, for Decatur Central. So both teams kind of subbing in some of their backup skill position players. With 1 quarter left and Artesian's down 4 touchdowns. Obviously don't want your starting players to risk any injury, and gives your backup players some playing time, as this is a handoff around the right side, and wow, what a move. And right up the middle for a touchdown, and Decatur Central with a quick score there. That was Cameron Underwood, number 33, who just scored on a nice move. Kenny Tracy there to celebrate with him, as had a nice hole, hit it, and went right up the field for a touchdown. Extra point coming up, and we've got a false start on Decatur Central. Decatur Central, the one thing they have not done well is in the kicking game. Extra points. I don't have the stats in front of me on what they've done, but I know they have missed more than they have hit when it comes to extra points. It's really the only thing Decatur Central has not done well tonight. Extra point is up, and it's good. And we've got a flag late, so that could be a roughing the kicker. See, a flag did come well after the play, as number 3, I believe, Amir Salama, the kicker. He just had to move back a little bit. He was too close the last few times. So after the made extra point, it's 47-12. Decatur Central in control of this game, and they look to come out of here with a win. Go 2-2 on the year and 1-1 in the conference. Artesians, unless a miracle happens, will fall to 2-2 as well, but they will fall to 0-2 in conference. And I know Coach Whitson, one of his goals was to win the Mid-State Conference, and he's dug himself a big hole starting out 0-2. Doesn't mean the conference crown is completely out of reach, but big hole's been dug for the Artesians after losing your 2 opening conference games here. I said in the opening broadcast right at kickoff, it's Friday the 13th. There's a full moon. Let's see if this game gets weird. Well, it didn't get weird, but it just got bad for the Artesians. Chalk this up to full moon on the Friday the 13th, just everything going wrong. It really has for Martinsville. The only time there was any feeling of optimism there, the opening of the second half, Artesians were able to score and make it 28-12. But like I said, Decatur Central marched down. Their next time they had the ball, scored, stopped Martinsville, then scored again, and now another score makes it 47-12. So Decatur Central in control. And that's going in the end zone for a touchback. So Artesian's here. Just kind of got to learn and get back on the right track. You started out so strong, had a lot of confidence, a lot of great feeling around this football program after the big win against Bedford North Lawrence to open the season, and then even the bigger win against the rival Bloomington South on the road. You had 2-0 and kind of stumbled at Greenwood, and there was even a chance there. I mean, you lost the turnover battle 3-0, and you take away even just one of those turnovers, it's a different game. But you still felt confident, still felt that you could maybe bounce back, but Decatur Central has put a stop to any of that. Inside run here, got to stop the play, and I think that was Tyler Cox who had that. So yeah, Artesian just need to regroup here. They fall to 2-2 after tonight's game, and they've got Franklin coming in, and this Franklin team much improved to the Franklin team we've seen over the past few years. And Franklin's had some rough years over the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of 1-win or 0-win seasons, but they're 3-0, and Coach Cole over there in Franklin has this team going the right spot. A little speed option here, and knocked out of bounds just shy of the first down marker. It's 35, Riddick Bolton on that run. Number 35, Bolton is a sophomore, 5'9", 165 pounds. Riddick Bolton with that carry on the speed option from Ty Martin, who's junior backup quarterback. Like I said, size-wise, much different than Xavier, much bigger quarterback. But despite Xavier's size, has a strong arm. So we're going to see what Ty Martin does here these final 7 minutes. Hands it off again. I think that's Bolton again who gets a few yards. Riddick Bolton trying to earn some playing time here at the varsity level. One thing the Artesians have missed these last few games is just the ground attack. Just has not really had success on the ground at all these past few games. That really changes everything. If teams know that you're not going to have success running against them, they can kind of back things up a little bit and guard the pass a little bit more, and that's what Martinsville wants to do. They want to air it out, and they want to score quick, but you need the ground game to set up that. Another speed option. Bolton has it on the far side, and tackled out of bounds, crosses the 35 to at the 36-yard line, so a couple yards there. So 3rd and about 4 coming up for the Artesians. Five and a half minutes to go in this game. Martin gets to air it out, throws it, and he's got a man, and still on his feet, and it's drugged down at about the 40-yard line. Number 5, Jalen Arthur, senior, with a reception there. See if Ty Martin can get scoring drive here. Makes the handoff, gets it, and cannot hang on. Wesley Polston there had a good route, had his man beat, just could not hang on. I couldn't see if the defender there got a hand on the football, but number 15, Wesley Polston, senior, on the basketball team, came out for football for the first time in a while. Getting some playing time here, 4:21 to go. We'll see if they go to him again, 2nd down. Quick pass there on the side, nowhere to go though. That was 85 Dalton DeStefano. Caught that on the far side, but nowhere to work. Number 12, Ty Martin, looked good. Throwing a few crisp balls. Connected on a few receivers. Throwing good football so far. I understand that Decatur Central probably has their second string as well, but so far the junior quarterback has looked good. He's going to go back. He's going to throw a deep ball here. It's to Polston again, and Polston has it, and Polston will score. No flags, touchdown. Ty Martin connects to Wesley Polston for the late touchdown. Makes it 47-18. So in a game like this, at least that's a positive you can come out with. Maybe gives either one of those guys some confidence and carries them into practice this week and future games down the road. Take a look at it there. Ty Martin here on the replay throws it. Wesley Polston has his man beat, able to make the catch, outrun the defender, and goes into the end zone for his first touchdown of the year. Ty Martin rolls to his right, going for two. He's got a man open, overthrows him. To Ty Martin. Good job for the junior quarterback. Leads the offense down for a scoring drive. Connects to the senior Wesley Polston for his first touchdown and I believe first reception of the season. So now you just hope going into the rest of these games that your leading tackler, number 26, and occasional running back, Weston Pemberton, is okay. He went out early in the second quarter, and we have not seen him since. Artesian will try out a new kicker as well. Number 20, Ethan Hanley. See how Ethan does here. Artesians, like I said, kind of trying to figure out their kicking game. Let's see what type of leg number 20 has here for the Artesians. Ball's teed up. A little bit of a ride there, a little stronger leg that time. It's taken at the 15 but dropped. See what the coverage team does here. There's a seam, missed a tackle, but tripped up there. Number 63 for the Artesians with that. Trevor Mosgrip on the tackle. So 2:09 left to go here. I have not mentioned this, but actually, unfortunately, the Artesians are on the other end of that new rule this year where if the deficit gets to 35 or more, the clock continues to run, and at 47-12, that's where the Artesians were. So the clock has actually continued to run, and a little confusion there. The ball was fumbled but recovered by Decatur Central, so this fourth quarter has moved a little quicker than normal due to the new rule. So next week, Artesians are at home to Sidewoods Field. If you were able to go, please go. Don't be discouraged by the two losses here by the Artesians. If you're able to go to Sidewoods Field next week against Franklin, cheer on this squad. If you are unable to do it, you can tune it in here to the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. We'll have that game live for you. Martinsville, Franklin. Martinsville will try to get back on the winning side of things next week against a very good Franklin team. I'd like to go ahead and thank the camera crew once again from the Martinsville TV Productions class. It's Raina Cox, Annabelle Cleary, and Style Meckling. Those three young ladies, excellent job on camera tonight. And then from Decatur Central side, Max Bond running camera as well as MHS Productions, and DC Live, Decatur Central's TV productions class. Kind of a little joint effort, each using each other's equipment a little bit. It's always a fun thing to see and bring great coverage of high school football here to you if you can't make it out to the football field. And that should be the final play of the game. Artesian's fall, tough one, could not right the ship. It just kind of started out rough and just never really got any better. Artesians could never get their footing, and they fall 47-18 to the Decatur Central Hawks. Once again, thanks to the entire crew. Thanks to Eric Meyer who helped kind of technical direct and produce this show. I'm Eric Burns. For everyone else, good night, everybody.